Long way, get this shit a long way, hit the long way, long way, hit the long way, 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 shit a long way, long shit a long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way, 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 gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand, man. She be trippin' every day, she be trippin' every way, but I gotta get this shit a long way, gotta get this shit a long way. Tryna get money every single way, tryna get money every single day, get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, every day we gotta get paid, I'm feeling like we be the new slave. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich, she don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we got hit lit, no, we ain't hit lit. Tryna get the long way, tryna get the shit the long way, Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, told you the other day that did my phone show. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, get the shit the long way. My bitch be trippin' back and forth like a phone way. My name's Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Atari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. Said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I went and got some money, Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, back and forth like the pong way, man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way, just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy, we gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day, we be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for so we gon' get the shit the long way, 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 we get the shit the long way, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, we gon' get the long way,
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm LJ Young, your host. What's up, Aaron? Down South Yella. QJC, what's up? What's going on? Welcome. I am the founder of SMD. I'm not SMD itself because SMD is a family of people that think like me. What's think like me? We all know that capitalism is psychological, split into two parts, positive and negative. This is a mathematical fact. This is not my opinion. This is not a guess. This is a fact. Okay, it doesn't. And if you come, you come into the channel, you hear me say that, you say, who is this guy? He must be crazy. You just got to stop and ask yourself, but is his math right? If my math is right, that means I'm right. And if you don't believe math, that means you're wrong. That's what that means. Okay, nothing else. Anyway, with this gift, I come to the understanding that there are people that are called debt slaves that live on the negative side of the economy. And the psychological part is that they don't know that they live there. Okay, these are people that believe they can own things with no money. They think they can buy houses. They think they can become homeowners with mortgages, car owners with car loans after financing them for 84 months. Invest in retirement while having a mortgage and thinking they're earning percentage rates or whatever they believe that's in the negative world. But what they don't know is the currency is them. All forms of currency are psychological for debt slaves. They don't, whoops, hold on for a quick second. Sorry about that. Sorry, I forgot to finish something. Finish something before I started the live and totally forgot about that. But anyway, they don't know that they live there. Okay, that was me. I was there just like everybody else, thinking that credit, I couldn't buy nothing without credit. I needed my credit to get a house and a car, and everything is all my financial money, all the big money that I'm supposed to have. Everything's in the future. Everything, my retirement, my future stock portfolio, everything's in the future. Never once did I say, what about today? All I had to do was log into my bank account and see what I had today, that day. All I had to do was look at the calculator and say, hey, wait a minute. I can't buy a house with a mortgage. No, who told you that? All my friends with mortgages? You think I knew that at the time? No, I was an unconscious debt slave living on the negative side of the economy. Thinking taxes are bad. Taxes are expensive. They keep coming down on us with taxes. You think that, right? When you're in debt, that's what it's true when you're in debt. Okay, let's put it this way. When you're in debt, taxes look bad. Okay, let's put it that way. Taxes look bad when you're in debt. But when you come to the positive side of the economy, taxes help build wealth. That's how that works. Like when you're on the negative side, you look at the penalty for tax evasion as severe, which it is, right? It's a severe penalty. Now, instead of like, oh my God, wow, that's severe, you should ask yourself, why is it severe? Why is it that severe? Why can you go to prison for so long for tax evasion, right? There's a reason why that is, but as long as you're on the negative side, you will never see what that is, why that is, okay? So with this knowledge, you guys really, okay, debt slaves, you guys don't own anything. Everything is you. You guys are the currency. So, but you guys don't know you guys are everything. When you put it this way, when you have student loan debt, right? Say like you have student loan debt that's older than your retirement plan. You don't know that you have no money to put into retirement. You can't contribute to a retirement plan while having student loan debt. So when you don't know that, you become the retirement plan. Do you understand? When you have student loan debt and you're contributing to you're contributing to your retirement plan at work, so you can get the match. If you have student loan debt, you're the match. You're the 3%. Whatever match you think you're getting, the match is you. Do you understand? Because you don't know, you don't have any money to put in there to get anything. So that makes you, not only does that make you the match, that make you the retirement plan for the business, who's probably going to get a big tax break, or who knows the reason why big companies start retirement plans. I don't know. I'm sure they don't do it because they like to do it. They probably get big old tax breaks. So it's just business. I don't care what they use to get debt slaves. Like when this is what you guys don't see, right? There's like hundreds of thousands of videos telling you that getting a match is not getting a match in your retirement plan is leaving money on the table. Okay, they always tell you that. Anything to make you believe that you're going to have some free money. All right, that's how it works. You come to the positive side, you invest in things that debt slaves believe that they're going to get for free. That's where you put your money, because debt slaves are going to do it. When they do that, that's just because if they didn't do that, you guys wouldn't be investing into your retirement. So they got to do something to entice you to do it. But what you don't know is that you don't have any money to do anything. Does a person, now let's go to the side you can't see. Now, if a person that works at the same job you have, right? Say like there's a person that works and does the exact same job as you, but they have no debt. Zero. Absolutely none. Oops. Sorry about that. Hold on one more time. Sorry about that. They have absolutely no debt. Now, if they invested into their retirement plan, right? If they invested in a retirement plan, they would get a match. Why? Because they have real money to do so. Let me tell you something that this is something that when I was getting out of debt, I worked one more year while I was debt free. I became debt free, but I still have one more. I worked for one more year because just because I become debt free didn't immediately say I'm gonna quit my job. That's a psychological thing. All I've known is the 40-hour work week all my life. So just because I got out of debt, I just didn't quit my job. I was like, no, I can't do that. I was still scared because that's all I knew. I went to college. I went to college to get my degree. If I quit my job, that means I'm throwing it all away. No, I'm betting on myself, which I did. That's why I'm on here on the mic today talking to you now. I just did. There's a strong psychological piece to it all. Strong. Damn, I was going somewhere with that too. I forgot. Damn it. I hate it when I do that. Anyway, trying to do two things at once. That's why I hate when I totally forgot. I forgot to do that. That's why that timer keeps going off. Crap. What's up, Andre? What's up, Dark Knight? Anyway, with this knowledge, let me go way off where I'm start somewhere else. Anyway, with this knowledge, you guys don't know. You guys are everything. Now you're seeing. Now you guys keep hearing me talk about Tesla, right? Now you're starting to see Tesla's news. Their stock shares are going up. That's not a shocker. You guys don't see what's. You guys don't see Tesla's playing chess. You guys are. I don't get it. Now they're talking about some kind of Tesla taxi service. These are just rumors, okay? I'm just reading. I don't know. I don't talk to Elon. I don't know. But guess who? Okay, listen. If this is true, and they start a Tesla taxi service, right? Which is the same as rideshare. I don't know why they're calling it taxi. I have no idea, right? There must be some legal things. They're probably changing the wording so they can get around something. Like Tesla always does different things, right? Here's a taxi because maybe there's some rules that are tied to saying ride share. But if they call it a taxi service, they might can get around some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Which might allow them to have their cars operate everywhere immediately right out the gate, because that's how taxis have always operated. So maybe if they fall under that, they get around some rules. I don't know. You just got to pay attention to. Hey man, when you see a word, you be like, because when I see something like that, hey, they're going to start a taxi service. I said to myself, why are they using the word taxi? Why are you not using the word ride share or Uber share or some shit like that? So you can tie yourself into that. But oh, you guys must be up to something else. They're always playing chess. Always. Oh, that's what okay. Yeah, let's go back. Okay. Now I remember. Thank you, Andre. Okay, you guys talking about the retirement. All right. I was working a job, right? I worked at my job for 1 year while debt free. Now, let me tell you how this happened, okay? So you guys can understand this. Now, throughout my career, I've always known that 401ks were always a maximum around $20,000 that the IRS allows you to put in there for 1 year. So I remember always hearing that every now and then. I used to say to myself, who in the hell has $20,000 in 1 year to put into a retirement plan? And I'm making six figures. Okay, remember that. All right. But I was in debt. So I thought you had to be I thought in order for me to put $20,000 into a retirement plan in 1 year, I had to at least be making $300,000 a year. That's what I thought. Okay. Anyway, during this year that I was debt free, I got a raise. And I remember being very excited about seeing the next check because I got a pretty good size raise, right? So I was excited to see the next check. But guess what? When the next check came, it was less than the check that was before the raise. Okay, I'm gonna say that one more time. I got a raise, right? But the check was less than the check before the raise. Now that didn't make sense to me. I was like, how in the world is that possible? That's when I started making understanding tax brackets. Okay, that's when I started understanding. Now remember, I'm debt free at this time. And then I said, whoa, that pushed me up into that tax bracket. That's why. But then the government says like this, it says, hey, but if you put $20,000 into your 401k, you could take $20,000 off of your annual income, which will what? Drop you in your tax bracket. Okay. I said, oh shit. Now remember, I'm debt free making 6 figures. I now have $20,000 to do it. So I did it. And that's exactly what happens. But check this out. So I remember I did that for the last year. I remember first when I went in there and did it, HR had called me and said, hey, Mr. Young. Yeah, I was just like, hey, we saw that you moved the bar all the way up to put $20,000 in your 401k. Are you sure you want to do that, sir? Because it's going to take X amount of dollars out of your check and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I said, yes. And I thought that was weird, but I thought, okay, they're just checking and seeing, right? I was like, okay, cool, whatever, right? So that's exactly what it did. But check this out. So later on down the year, that's when I decided I was going to start quitting my job. Now, this is going past the 401k time, right? Now, the closer it came to me quitting, I put in my 2 weeks. And then a couple days towards the end, the last day, I was packing up my stuff, everybody saying their goodbyes. And then all of a sudden, the secretary of the CEO or somebody high up in management said, hey, they want to see, hey, LJ, so-and-so wants to see you before you leave. I was like, what? Now, this CEO or CIO, whatever he was, it was just a hi and bye in the hallways. It was nothing. We didn't know each other like that for him to want to talk to me before I left. So it kind of shocked me. So he's in a board meeting, right? In the big room at the end where you walk in, there's a big ass table with all the executives around it. And he's the head of the table, right? He calls me into that room with everybody in the room and sets me at the head of the table and says, hey, LJ, we know you're leaving. Sorry to see you go, man. What you going to do? And this and that. I was like, what? I was looking at the people, the executives around on the edge of the tables too. They all had a confused look on their faces like, why is he up there? I was looking back at him like, I don't know either. He was like, oh, okay. All right. Then we kind of little chit chat and he said, okay, good luck on your journey, man. I just want to say goodbye and take care. I was like, okay, cool. See you later. So-and-so, so-and-so. Baffled me forever. I walked away. I drove away. I was like, that was weird. Why did he do that? Then I realized it later. Now that I understand that capitalism is psychological, how many people in the company, now listen closely, how many people in your company do you think is fully funding a 401k in one single year at a company? I'm going to say that one more time. When I say fully fund, I mean 20, whatever the max is right now, 19,500, 20,500. How many people, how many of your coworkers do you know that are fully funding a 401k at their job? 0.5%, maybe. So when I did that, that obviously got his attention. That obviously something, maybe he got a bonus for me doing that. Who knows, because you don't know how companies work. Maybe if a certain department get enough people to sign up for 401ks, they get an X amount of dollars. Who knows if that works like that? It's just business. I don't really care. But then this one executive has one person in his whole floor department that fully funded their 401k. Maybe he got a major bonus. Because you better believe nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. I didn't know that till later. I only know that because now I understand capitalism is psychological and everything is you guys. Who do you guys listen? If the Tesla taxi service rumor is true, guess whose cars are going to be the taxis? Guess. All of you guys would finance Teslas. All of you guys are going to pay. Listen, you guys are going to pay to participate if this is true. Why? Because you guys have payments. That's why. You guys are going to all believe that you're making money letting your card be used, participate in the taxi service when it's financed. You guys are all going to believe you're making money. And you know who's the only one going to be making money? Owning absolutely. Listen, they don't actually, like when the car is sold, Tesla doesn't actually own it anymore, but they still have full control of the car. They just get permission from the owner of the car and they just flip a switch. They don't even have to use any of their own cars because you guys will be banging down their door to participate, thinking you're getting the free money or something. You guys see Tesla. You guys see all this Tesla stock going up. You guys ain't seen shit yet. They are playing chess. You guys all you got to do is take a step back and look at the bigger picture. Oh, look at Tesla stocks going up. And he's going to Mars. What? You can do both those things at once? Yeah, he's doing it. That's what Tesla's doing. They're doing two things at once. Putting rockets up in the sky, making them come back, land where they started. And they're playing chess. Do you know how many steps ahead they are? Listen, you guys, okay, listen. The only people that will be ever be able to compete with them, they have to have electric cars that they're fully in control of, that are completely driverless to compete. That's minimum. You have to have that minimum to compete. And listen, and not only do you have to have your own cars, your cars have to be all over the world. And the only way you can do that is people. The only way you're going to be able to get your cars all over the world, the people have to buy them. That's called a legal monopoly. Legal, because they have no competition. Don't you guys see that? That's already in place. That's about to happen. You guys don't see that? I see that. Congratulations, Tesla. Because honestly, this is what I'm thinking right now, right? When I saw the word taxi, now anybody could have wrote it, okay? I'm just saying. I always thought to myself, taxis are dead. Why would they use that word? Why would they use the word taxi? Maybe they're using to get around some regulations so their cars can be used everywhere. You know how much? Hey, listen. You know how much money you got to have to be able to compete with Tesla once they flip that switch. Once their driverless software is approved by every city and state in America. Listen, and they got their own chargers. Hey, listen. Who's gonna mess with that? Who? Tesla's coming after everybody. They're making change. And I don't think, listen, and when I say that, I don't think they're purposely saying, hey, we're going to do a monopolize everything. No, they're saying we're changing shit. All right. It's been that way for a long time. Shit needs to change. The cars different, trucks look different. Now all the people that were stuck in their ways for the last 100 years are nervous as fuck. Even Apple. Oh shit, we shouldn't have left our phones looking the same exact way for the last 10, 15 years. Uh-oh. Elon and Tesla know debt slaves love change. They love new and different and fast and cool looking. All you got to do is give it to them. That's all they're asking for. And Tesla's about to fucking give it to them. You think, hey, listen, they've been talking about coming out with a phone, right? You think they're going to fuck around on that phone? That phone's going to be bad ass. You already know. Listen, Elon's already proven it. Digging tunnels, going to Mars, sending rockets back and forth, landing back in the same spot, fucking taking over the market. Look at, man, hey, man, those guys are playing chess. I start seeing it in the news. Oh, Tesla stock is rising. Oh, wow, what a shocker. That's not, you guys ain't seen nothing yet. You guys ain't seen nothing yet. I was thinking to myself, what is Uber and Lyft going to do? Nothing. They can't do nothing. Checkmate. You know, when you first saw Uber and Lyft come out, you're like, damn, they're making so much money and they have no employees and they got people using their own cars. You just think like, wow, that is just, man. And it was at the time. You don't think somebody bigger is going to come and chomp them up. You don't think that? You don't think there's no way somebody's going to come and put Uber and Lyft out of business, and along comes Tesla. Right in your face, right in your face. In order to compete, listen, in order to compete with Tesla, when they go, man, that's coming. That's obviously coming, right? Driverless delivery cars. Bye-bye. Hey, listen, all you guys delivering shit, I hope you guys got an exit plan because that's about to come to an end. Who do you think customers are going to choose to deliver their food to them? A driverless Tesla car or you driving it? Or the person driving it in whatever car might be dirty and nasty and filthy. This person might not care, might want to decide to dig in your food. Or a driverless Tesla car that they know their food is not going to be touched. Who do you think is going to choose? Tesla, baby. Every time, listen, who are you going to choose? You open up the app and choose a Tesla car to come pick you up to take you to the airport. And you know every single time it's going to be clean and safe. Who are you going to choose? The only way for Uber or Lyft to compete, they have to have driverless electric cars around the world to compete to that. Today, they have to have it now. And superchargers across the world. Superchargers, by the way, not regular chargers, superchargers. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. And again, the only way you can get your cars around the world that fast, you have to get debt slaves to finance them. So that means they gotta like it. So your car has to be better than a Tesla. Listen, without a doubt, your car has to be faster than a Tesla. It has to be if you want that particular market. It has to be faster than the Tesla. That's a requirement. 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. It has to do that minimum. It's like, it's like here come it's like Tesla fills these holes that people have been wanting. They would have had no problem going to an electric car as long as it looked good, as long as it was cool, as long as it was something. But it seemed like these car manufacturers were making electric cars the ugliest as possible, so they could just say, hey, everybody, look, we did our part. Look, we made an electric car. You guys didn't like it. Yeah, because it's ugly as fuck. And then along comes Elon. He says, oh, yeah, they want a cool looking electric car. Yeah, I'm going to make a cool one, and I'm going to make it fast. And I'm going to make it be able to eat up any car, half the American cars on the road, no matter if you got a Chevy big block. And listen, somebody come up with a big old Chevy big block and overdeck cam and this and that, and a Tesla will eat it alive. Who cares about that engine anymore? That engine is obsolete. If your engine like this right now, if you have an engine that you build and it's so fast and you can't be a Tesla, that engine is obsolete. Doesn't matter what it is. Man, Tesla's killing the game, man. My dream is to one day go to the Tesla headquarters. Not as just any guest. As a person that understands capitalism is psychological. That's different. You guys don't really understand what that means, but they clearly understand what that means. I'm not saying everybody at Tesla understands what I'm talking about, but you better believe there are a very select few that work at Tesla. Believe that. And when I say work at Tesla, work with Tesla, not work for Tesla. Tesla is obviously a company, just like Apple, right? You can clearly tell the companies that have no problem paying for talent, because they know they're going to get every penny's worth. Like, say for example, like you're going to, you're trying to sell something to a big company, and you want them to do something with the, whatever, right? All they got to do to see if you're serious is look at your personal credit report. A big business, all they got to do is see how you've been handling the business of yourself. You guys don't understand that. If big business came to me and said, hey, LJ, what can you do for me? I'll tell them what I could do. They run my credit report and clearly see I have no owners, none, zero. That means what? I own myself. That means I know capitalism is psychological. That's what that means. My credit report proves that. And if you've never had zero debt show on your personal credit report, you have no idea what I'm talking about, and you never will until you reach zero. Your credit report houses the total debt, your credit report shows the price to own yourself. That's how much it costs. Like if you log into your online credit report, right? Go ahead and log in there, scroll past the credit score, go down and see your total debt. It might be at the top. They might put it at the top. See that big number? Put a negative in front of it. That's how much it's going to cost to own yourself. That's how much it's going to cost. So what is it? Can you do it? Because if you don't get rid of that number, you will be owned until you're dead. That's what that means. That means you have owners. If you ever want to come to the positive side and create companies and make moves, make chess moves, listen, understand this. I can help you make chess moves like Tesla. Now, when you look at Tesla, you're going to be overwhelmed of its size and look how big it is. But listen, just don't be amazed by that. It's just one simple thing. You got to know how to play. I can help you make chess moves. Chess moves mean you could see something that many people cannot. Like, for example, say like this. Say like there's some Uber or Lyft executives, right? And they put, you see what I'm talking about right now? And if they haven't talked to that about the board or the people, the money, I would fire all those people. It's like, hey, wait a minute. You don't see what you haven't told us what Tesla's doing. We pay you to watch that stuff. Oh, we didn't think they were going to do that. Well, how did you not know that? There is, listen, the way I'm looking at, and this is just my opinion about this, but there is absolutely, listen, there is absolutely nothing Uber and Lyft can do. They can't do nothing about it. From the way I see it, that is coming. Those guys are coming to an end. They have to. Unless they can get cars, unless they can get driverless electric cars they control around the world in less than a year. That's the only way they're going to be able to survive. And guess what? All you people doing those jobs, you guys are going back to W-2 jobs. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And guess what's going to, listen, and guess what's going to happen as soon as you start work? This helps everybody. You guys don't even see what's about to happen. Guess what's going to happen when you guys start work? They're going to get the tax money that you didn't pay when you was delivering shit. Now they're going to take it from you. See you later, tax refunds. You guys can forget that for a long time. You ain't seeing no tax refunds if they stop there. They might garnish your wages. I don't know. But as soon as you go back to your W-2 job and plug in your social security number, that's going to be an automatic. You guys have no idea how many birds the Tesla stone is going to knock. Oh my God. You guys have no idea. You guys that have depended on, hey man, let me go make a quick $100, man. I'm gonna do it. Just let me do this drops off, and man, I'll meet you guys up, man. I'm gonna just and not paying no taxes or nothing, and just going on with life like it's just normal. Totally ignoring tax due dates, April 15th, and you guys with businesses, you guys do the exact same thing. And listen, if you have a business and you're doing the exact same thing as a person that's doing delivery and shit like that, I have no idea what you guys are thinking. Like when you don't listen, like when you don't pay your taxes, do you just think like that's going to go on forever? Is that, I mean, I don't even know what the process is. I don't know what the mind process is that. Are you scared every day to go to your mailbox? I mean, what? Hell yeah, he's coming after that too. I seen something about automated trucking. Never thought I'd see a self-driving semi. Sure is. He's already on that. That's almost done. And again, I don't think Tesla's purposely monopolizing things. I think he's just changing things. And you guys got to understand this. Everybody, see, when you're on the negative side, you don't understand the time that you're in. You were alive to see the world stop. You were alive to see downtown looks like movies, like a deserted, like when the dead is chasing people, all cities are dead and stuff like that. Walking Dead, right? You got to actually be alive to see a busy city that's normally busy every single day of the week look deserted. That will never happen again in this lifetime. So what does that mean? The economy stopped. That's exactly what happened. It stopped. And now it has started. Brand new. This is a brand new economy. Brand new. Everything the way things worked before 2020, guess what? That's gone forever. Forever. And guess what? You were alive to see it. Now you got to do is accept it. All you got to do is just, oh, this is a new economy. Things are different. Yep, things are different. Drug Hour said, I worked at Tesla for 2 months before I got into the banking industry. One robot in Tesla costs about $20,000 just to lift the car through the line. Tesla is 30 years ahead of man. Let's help everybody understand something this, okay? When you make money like that, okay? And when you see a price tag for a robot cost $20,000, that's probably like $200 to Tesla for a $20,000 robot. You got to remember, when you get to that level of business, debt slaves who finance the cars finance the business. You guys got to remember, every single debt slave that finances a Tesla, they finance the taxes too. If they don't have the money for the car, they don't have the money for the taxes. They finance the price of the car and the taxes and whatever else is up in there, wrap it up in a bow and put a percentage rate on top of it. Everybody, hey, IRS, here's your money. Here's your money for the price of the car. IRS gets their money right away like they're supposed to. And guess what? The bank assumes the taxes and puts an interest rate on it. Make you guys finance the taxes too. The driver goes away thinking they're saving money on gas, thinking they're saving money on a finance Tesla. Hey, look, Tesla finances cars through themselves. But you goddamn right they do. Hell yeah. Nobody can save gas money on a finance Tesla. That's 100% impossible. You can't do that. Who told you that? All your other friends with finance Teslas? They just make people of the lower class feel like they are losing, but they are just marketing because they know they are light years ahead. For sure. Once you come to the positive side of the economy, now this is hard to believe. If you've never been to the positive side, if you've never owned yourself, you really don't really understand what I'm about to say. But once you understand, the price of everything is irrelevant. Did you guys know that? Everything you see a price on, that's a belief. So if you go buy a watch, say like they say, hey, that watch is worth $20,000. It's only worth $20,000 to the people that believe it's worth $20,000. See, they don't really finish the sentence for you, but you don't really understand that. So if you come across a car that says, hey, that car is worth $450,000, that car is only worth $450,000 to the people that believe it's worth $450,000. I could be a multi-millionaire and somebody comes up with this car, drives up in this car and says, hey, this car is worth $1 million. And I look at it and I think it's ugly. I'm saying, well, I'm not gonna spend $1 million on a car that I think is ugly because I don't believe it's worth $1 million. But they drive off and find somebody that does. So when you guys see people driving supercars, all you got to do is find out if they're making car payments. If they're making listen, always remember this. Car payments, excuse me. Car payments make the driver irrelevant. Okay? As soon as you find out somebody's making car payments, you really don't even have to ask. All right. If you know the people that are driving nice cars, all you got to think to yourself is this: do I believe my friend bought that car in cash? You don't even have to ask if they're making payments. You just ask yourself, do I believe my friend bought that car in cash? If the answer is no, then they're making car payments. Car payments make the driver irrelevant. Okay, never forget that. The only thing Tesla struggle with is when a human makes an error by shooting the shot wrong on like the steering wheel or something, which slows down shipping of the car. What you say? The only thing Tesla struggle with is when a human makes an error by shooting oversteering the car. Well, you know, when you get to the positive side and understand capitalism is psychological, you also understand debt slaves are going to be resistant in adopting. Okay, they just resist change. It just happens. You got to be able to have the mindset to push through all the resistance, because you guys have no idea how many people are I mean, I was on TV, I was watching YouTube. There are people that go around and key up Teslas because what? It's a Tesla, so you're going to key it. That kind of stuff makes absolutely no sense. So if I put it this way, if I see somebody keying a Tesla because it's a Tesla, what that means is this: probably half the accidents with Teslas are caused by people that don't like them. And then when the Tesla gets in an accident with the person that might have been the cause of the accident, Tesla, the only thing the news focuses on is the Tesla, not how the accident happened. That simply that this accident here, they don't word it this way, but they need to word it this way. There has been an accident on the road with two cars. One of them happens to be a Tesla. Because you got to remember, if the news did the same thing on two regular cars getting into an accident on the freeway or on the road, who's going to watch that? Did somebody die? No. Then they're like, who cares then? But if it's a Tesla getting in a fender bender, was it doing driverless? Well, what happened? Was the driver asleep? And this, they can run through all these things. I'm sure Tesla plays chess. Okay. They understand that's going to happen, but look at the adoption rate now. Teslas are everywhere. Everywhere. Teslas are everywhere. They're about to fix that issue real soon because human beings complain too much. They do. They complain a lot. But that's just part of it. When you think about that scale, when you're Tesla scale, Amazon scale, Apple scale, you know there are going to be people that are going to complain. Maybe because you're rich and you guys are a big company, your prices of your phones are too high. Like they're forcing them to buy the product. You don't even have to buy the product. People be complaining about the price of an Apple phone like they have to buy an Apple phone. You don't have to buy an Apple phone. And you know what? This is what's bananas. This is what's crazy. And I didn't know this until I got out of debt. Okay, I didn't know this. All right. So when I was a debt slave, I was just like you guys. I financed phones. So any phone I finance, if I go through T-Mobile, when I turn it on, guess what pops up in the first thing? T-Mobile. If I go to Verizon, power up the phone, guess who pops up? Verizon and AT&T and so forth, right? Right. To me, when you do that, when you finance phones, that's normal. Okay, I get to AT&T and blah, blah, blah. It's like I'm financing through AT&T. But what I didn't realize is this. That's an image that they pay for to put on that phone. So whatever AT&T or Verizon, because you got to remember, the phones come factory unlocked with nobody on them. Nobody, no image, no cell phone company. It's just Apple. Okay. And then when you guys finance phones, you guys have no choice but to get their phones with their image. So they get to dictate the features on the phone. I did not know that. Okay. And this is how I figured that out, right? So after I got out of debt, I just started buying my phones in cash, whatever, right? And sometimes my phone came with Verizon coming up or T-Mobile or whoever, whatever, but it was unlocked. So I could still stick in a SIM, right? And still use it on any carrier I wanted. I didn't care about that. I was like, cool. So I don't really care who comes up at boot up, right? But then AT&T was shutting down their 3G network. Okay. And I had an old like Note 8. Okay, a Note 8. And then AT&T had the list. They said, hey, if you have this phone, right, in this model, your phone will not be affected and it will still work. I was like, woo, cool. I don't have to get a new phone. Cool, right? And then all of a sudden they shut down the network, the 3G network or whatever, right? And then my phone stopped working. I was like, wait a minute, why is it not working? I don't get it. They said it on the list, but they put AT&T puts the base model of the phone, but there's different extensions. If it's made for AT&T, if the number extension is made for Verizon, same model phone, different model number total, because it'll tell you which phone is made for. Well, anyway, the reason why my phone didn't work because I couldn't get to a particular area within the phone that allowed me to connect to the next network up, because the image or the Verizon image on there didn't allow me to access a particular feature that allowed me to switch it on to be able to still be able to function. I didn't realize that until I got a factory unlocked phone, because without that phone working, I had to buy me another phone. But this time I so happened to get a factory unlocked phone, because as soon as I turned it on, I was like, oh wow, there's no carrier that pops up on the phone. And then I noticed I went into the particular area where I needed to turn on my previous phone. This thing was there. And then I got online and then I looked for the Note 8, but a factory unlocked Note 8, and it had the feature in there. I was like, oh damn. If I was a regular phone financer, I would have never in a million years knew factory unlocked phones existed. Why not? Because when you finance phones, they're never going to sell you a factory unlocked phone. The purpose of it, that's when you finance the phone, it's their rules and their image on the phone, because you finance the phone through them. It was bananas. I was like, what? So now when you see somebody's phone and you see a carrier stamped to the back of it, 9 times out of 10, it's financed. That's just the big carriers letting all the other people, all the other businesses know this debt slave's mine. Look, Verizon's on the phone. I know it's an iPhone, but Verizon's stamped across of it. We own him or her. Sorry. The walk-in there, yeah. What's up, Christopher? What's up, Nick? Tesla came such a known brand so fast is incredible. Took them such a short amount of time and to scare. I want people to make sure they find the video on Elon where he's talking about where he almost lost everything. When you create something that's your baby, S&D is my baby, right? This is my baby. When you find that video and when I watch it, I totally understand what he's meaning and what he says. You can see it, man. That's my baby, man. What was I gonna do? What you gonna do? Go back to the debt matrix? Once you come out of the debt matrix and come to the positive side of capitalism, there is no going back. I want you guys to understand this. The younger you are, the better. There is no going back. Not at all. Once you discover the 40-hour work week is a program, once you understand that it is, you can't go back in it. You already know it's a program. What you gonna do? As soon as you go to work, clock in, you know you're gonna be there for 8 hours. 30-minute lunch, hour lunch. Some of you guys even get don't even get a lunch, get breaks. Are you fucking crazy? Even when I was a debt slave, let me tell you something. Even when I was a debt slave, I said no. I refuse to have a job that only allows 30 minutes for lunch. Hell no. I'm going to at least get an hour. What is it going to take for me to do that? I got to have that kind of job with that kind of career. Then that's what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what I did. I got the kind of job when you go to lunch, even though it's an hour, you could stay an hour and a half. It really didn't matter. That's the kind of job I had. Long as you got your work done and you did it right and correct, the business don't care how long you take a lunch. If the business is getting paid, if the business is getting what they want with your salary, they don't care if you take an hour and a half lunch. But even that, I remember I used to go to lunch. This is when I was a debt slave. I remember I used to go to lunch and get done with my lunch. I used to say to myself, damn, I wish I could just go home and just go take a nap or something. And I used to just thinking of it in my head and then look at the clock, look at the time, and then head on back to the office. And hey, listen, you guys, you know what's so crazy? If you're looking at the clock all the time, guess what? If you're looking at the time all the time, guess what? The clock owns you because you're looking at it all the time. Do you know I never know what time it is unless I have an appointment? Do you know that? I never know what time it is unless I have an appointment. And when I say I have an appointment, alarm goes off, and then I look at the clock and use it for what it's for. Because I remember I was in a debt slave. When I was a debt slave, I remember I used to always hear this. Oh, man, you know the clock is a man-made thing and this and that. When you're in the debt matrix, you don't really know what that means when somebody says that, hey, man, you know the clock is man-made. You're like, yeah, duh. Yeah, but you don't really understand what they're saying when they say that. The reason why the clock owns you is because you're in debt. So that means you have to have a job. And so if you have to have a job, you got to know what time to go to work. You got to know what time to go to lunch, and you got to know what time to take your breaks. You got to know what time to get in the car to get to work. You got to know what time to get back from lunch to get back to work, and then leave work, and then you got to know what time to get on the road before the traffic gets bad, and you got to know what time before the express lane opens and closes, and then you got to know what time. Then you got to know what time to go to bed, and you got to set your alarm to know what time to get up. And you guys got to do that every fucking day. That means the clock owns you. Do you know that's not normal? You don't have to do that. If you're always saying, hey, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? That means you're probably in debt. That's what that means. Time to figure out that you're in debt. If you're always looking at the clock and what time is it and stuff like that, it's time for you to get out of debt. That's the time. You guys look at Tesla because they're big and they're playing chess. SMD is playing chess. Do you guys understand that? You guys are, I hope you guys are hearing me. I can see them playing chess. So if I can see them playing chess, guess what that means? I know how to play chess too, because I can see them playing chess. You mean to tell me he brought that rocket right back and made it land back where it started? Yeah, who else is doing that? Nobody. Nobody's doing that. And by the way, that's his second job. Yeah, his second job, he's going to Mars. Yeah, he's doing electric cars. He's about to take over that, and he's going to Mars. What? You own your own business. Let me tell you guys something, and I need you to really get it, okay? If you're a business owner, listen, if you are a business owner and you don't know capitalism is psychological and you want to play chess just like Tesla, come see me. If you do, you will thank me for the rest of your life. You'll play chess and you'll be the best at whatever whatever business you're in. If you're already passionate about it, you really love what you do, you just want it to explode, you've already done all the work. The passion is there. You just don't know how to do it. There's so much noise. You don't know who to listen to. Everybody's telling you do this and get business credit and do that. And you just don't know what to do. You're just like, okay, I'm gonna try this. Come to me. I will quiet all the noise. 99% of that is debt slave chitter chatter. Debt slave splaining. It's really noisy. It's like you just don't know what to do. It's like, hey, do this and that. When you understand how it works, you don't hear debt slaves no more. So it's quiet. It's totally quiet. That's why I can see Tesla playing chess. That's why. That's me right now, LJ. But I am you're trying to say conscious slave and working on getting to zero. That's how you do it. Even listen, Christopher, even with you saying it, because I need people to understand this. And you guys that are not at zero, you guys don't really understand this yet, but you will. They cannot hear what I'm saying. So the fact that you can even hear me to even reply to me and say, hey, LJ, I'm a conscious debt slave. That's a step in the right direction. You already know something that millions of people don't know. Millions of debt slaves don't know they're debt slaves. And you're saying it out loud. So that means, yep, you're on the right road. There you go. Congratulations. Here's my contact info. You can email me here, savingsminusdebt@gmail.com. Okay. You can sign up for a consultation at savingsminusdebt.com. Don't forget to hit that like, please, because I know I forget when I go to good streams. And if you're listening, my Cash App is SavingsMinusDebt. Okay, $ savings, plural minus debt. Romero, LJ, can you help? LJ, can help. Oh, okay. Excuse me. Oh, he's talking to someone. I'm like, what? What's going on? Okay. All right. I have my first consultation today, and I'm excited for the next steps. I'm excited for you too, man. That was exciting. I'm excited for you. It's nice to be able to tell somebody they are in a good position when they can't see it. You are very welcome. Very welcome. I want new people because you guys got to understand the majority of the SMD followers don't say anything. The people that speak on a regular, those are the few people that do. The majority of SMD followers, they don't say nothing. And that's okay. I don't really care. As long as you understand it, because a lot of people are going to come across this, hear me say the things I say, never heard it before, ever. They're like, damn, I've never heard that before, ever in my life. And then when I say, oh, yeah, you'll never hear it again, ever, they think, oh, okay, who do you think he is? But it's true. You're like, but you got to take a step back. He's the only person on the internet that has shown his entire credit report. The only person. Now you got to ask yourself, how in the world? I just posted the contact. I did. Okay, I'm gonna post it one more time. You can email me. Here, you can go ahead and email me at SavingsMinusDebt.com. So if you're listening, SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. You can email me. I really want to get some ambitious business owners. The young people that know, they're like, man, the only way you can be successful is own your own business. But then they get out and they get ready to try. Listen, this is what happened, especially you young people. I want you guys to listen, okay? You get out there, you get ready to start and say, man, I got an idea. I'm gonna go do it. Then you got all these people say, hey, man, 95% of people that try to start a business, they're gonna fail. Then they put that fucking doubt in your head. I want you to listen to me. When you hear them say that, I want you to remember this. Imagine putting up a mirror right in front of you, between you and them. They're only talking about themselves. They are scared that they're going to be part of the 95%. Make sure, or you can respond and say, hey, I'm glad you told me that, but I plan on being part of the 5% that succeed. That's what you say to them. Because you don't want people that are afraid to even try anything to become successful. The majority of people just want the shit to fall in their lap. They just want to come on a podcast, do a couple funny videos, and become rich. Think it's going to happen that way. It's not going to happen that way. When you young people come into business, of course you're going to jump onto the new trend thing and all the gossip. This is how you guys got to look at it, because you guys can't see it. Okay, you guys can't see it. It's like you're trying to start a podcast and you're about to jump into the gossip world with all the funny memes and the surprise faces and this and that. They all do the same shit. I want you to take a step back and say, do they all do the same stuff? Yeah, they all do the same stuff. Do you really want to be part of that? Those don't last at all. That means you got to keep people. You got to remember, when you get into that area, you got to keep people that are entertained by that stuff. You got to constantly keep them entertained with that gossip bullshit. You think you can do that for 10 to 20 years of your life? What if one day you get tired of just talking about other people's lives? Do you know that might happen? Debt slaves always are intrigued about other people's lives. Think about it. Look how many people are invested in other people's lives. You can't do two at once. You can't be invested in other people's lives and your own at the same time. Do you want to get trapped in that world? You're only their favorite now because you got to remember, debt slaves that are entertained by that bullshit, they have many, many choices. They're subscribed to all the people that talk about that. Just because you see them have a lot of subscribers, that don't mean anything. I don't want you guys to equate that to money. You know what I do? I give people what they want subconsciously. That's what SMD does. SMD helps the people take care of things in their lives that they don't talk about. Credit card debt, scared to go to the mailbox because they don't want to see a red notice. Oh, they have to pay partial of the light bill. They're behind on the power. It's going to get cut off. People on social media, they don't talk about that. SMD fills that hole. Do you guys see the chess move? Taking care of the things that the people don't. I mean, they talk about it. Some people talk about it, some people don't. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla have driverless cars. You order your food. The car pulls up to the restaurant. The restaurant comes out, puts the bag or whatever in the car. The car closes. The car doesn't open back up until it reaches your house through an app. You run the app, the car opens, or whatever they're going to make it do to ensure that your food came straight from the restaurant to your house. Do you know how many people have been subconsciously looking for that? They want to feel safe with the food they're about to eat. Imagine the feeling when somebody comes up to their, say like people order food and somebody comes up to the door to ding dong, I'm here to drop your food off. And then they look at the driver and the driver doesn't look clean. And then they look at the car and the car doesn't look clean either. Or do they dare walk out to the car and see what it looks like in the car? Because you believe me, I've walked past some cars through some parking lots and you look on the floor of some cars, there are trash. I've seen people's cars filled with trash. And you can't see it unless you're standing over it. If you're driving, they look just like everybody else. You don't know their car is full of trash. What if somebody's delivering your food in a trash-filled car? What if their car's not clean? What if they got flies in it? Who knows? I don't know. But you know that's not going to happen with Tesla cars dropping your food off. Who are you going to go with? That you don't even have to think about that anymore. Those are chess moves. Do you want the advantage? You want to know how to make chess moves in business? I don't care what you do. If you got a passion about it, I can help you become the best by making chess moves. All it's going to take is like one big person in business that does, hey man, I heard this dude, he said capitalism psychological. Let me just see what he's talking about. And then I come and show him. Or her, him or her. It doesn't matter. And as I'm saying it, let me say this out loud. Let me say this right now, okay? To the fellas. If a woman comes to me first and starts telling all her friends, you guys are in trouble. You know, because when you see, like, when you go to channels, there's a lot of women bashing and women ain't this and that and this and that. When the bigger scheme of things, that none of that matters. You guys don't really understand that. Absolutely none of it matters. But if a smart businesswoman approaches me or she hears what I do and she's intrigued and she already has the business smarts, she already knows I know business. I'm doing businesses. Listen, business is successful. They're making money. She's doing it right. And then she comes across my channel and hears me say, I know capitalism is psychological. She says, what's that? Because you either know capitalism is psychological or you don't. There is no in between. There is no, it's either yes or no. If the answer, if you say, what is that? The answer is no, obviously. That means there's a language that you don't know exists. Also, that's what comes with that. You don't know. And the woman comes and takes this knowledge and puts it on top of the business knowledge she has already. You think she's going to care what a man thinks about it, especially a man who's a debt slave? You don't care. When you come to the positive side of the economy, you don't care about the opinions of debt slaves anymore. The financial world becomes quiet. QJC says Bernard Marcus started started the Home Depot at 50 years old, along with his business partner, Arthur Blank, who was 38 years old. Both start the business with $20,000 apiece. It's never too late. And even saying, like, I understand the encouragement to say it's never too late. Don't think you're too old, blah blah blah, right? That's encouragement to get people to do it, right? But once you get to zero, you will know there is no other choice. Therefore, you won't even think about how old you are. People come, oh, LJ's talking this way. He's just mad because he's 53. He missed his time. And, debt slaves just make up shit. They just be talking about, they don't know that they're talking about mathematics, like math gets old or something. Math doesn't care if I'm 53. And 9 times out of 10, it's a debt slave saying that. What's up, Biz? What's up, Kay? What's going on, sir? When you start a business, right? And you guys, okay, I want you guys to really understand something. When you start a business and you're passionate about it, and you get some negative feedback from somebody, you ask yourself, is that a debt slave? If you find out the person that's saying something negative about you, if you find out they're making car payments, who cares what they're saying? They're a debt slave. I would never, if somebody's starting a business and they're doing, I would never say anything negative. Congratulations, do your thing, man. Way to go, this and that. Encourage the person. But as soon as you hear somebody do something negative, 9 times out of 10, it's a debt slave. Debt slaves don't know chess is being played. Debt slaves are playing checkers. Hey man, finance a home, house hacking, live on one side, you have equity in a mortgage house. Listen, you guys, none of that is true. You can't own a house with a mortgage. You can't own equity in a mortgage house. None of that is mathematically true. That's all a program. You can't invest in retirement while you're having a mortgage. Who said that? Your friends with mortgages? The next time somebody says, hey man, yeah, I'm investing, I'm getting a match at my 401k and this and that, you turn to them and say, didn't you tell me you had a mortgage? They're going to say, yeah. And then that's going to answer your question. As soon as they answer yes, this is what I want you to say. As soon as they answer yes, I want you to say right to yourself, LJ told me they was going to say yes, because they don't know that you can't do that. That's why they're telling you yes. If somebody's talking to you about any type of investing, any type, you turn to them and say, hey man, weren't you just talking to me about, you hope Biden gets the $20,000 student loan forgiveness? And then they're going to turn to you and say, yeah, I did. And then as soon as they say yes, I want you to think to yourself, LJ said you was going to say yes, because he don't know that you can't do that. Millions of people believe they own houses with mortgages. They don't know that they don't. Hey, I'm trying to find a house in my price range. All you got to do is log into your bank account. Do you got $400,000 in there? No? Then you can't buy a house. Debt slaves make the trying to figure out if they can afford it. They make the shit so complicated. All you got to do is find whatever you think the house is in your price range. You go to that neighborhood, go look at the for sale sign on the lot, right? And then as you're looking at it in your car, you log into your bank account and see if you have that much money that's posted on the sign. See if you have it in your account. If you don't, you can't buy the house. There is no way to buy the house. I don't know why you guys make it so complicated. Oh man, I got to see if I can get this, and I got to add up 2 checks, and then I got to see if this, and see the debt to income ratio. No, you don't. You just log into your bank account. Do I have 400,000 in there? No. Then the answer is no. When you come to the positive side of the economy, you will understand the sale price of a house is irrelevant to those who are financing it. The sale price of a house only applies to those paying cash. That's the sale price of a house to who's with a mortgage is irrelevant. That's irrelevant. As soon as you get a mortgage, you're done signing all the paperwork to whatever term. You do a 30-year term. All you got to do when you're done signing all the paperwork, all you got to do to flip all the way to the back of that paperwork and see how much you're going to have paid when you're done making payments. That is your sale price. The sale price of every single car that is financed is different for everybody. Just because you see a sale price of a car for $50,000, that's only for people with cash. If I come, say they had two cars sitting out there for each of them were for $50,000. One guy comes up, pays cash, pays the price of the car and taxes cash, boom, done. I come up, do the same thing, cash, price of the car, taxes, cash. Our prices are going to be exactly the same price. But if two people that are financing a car, it's going to be different. I don't know if they're rolling negative equity, gap insurance, interest rate. There's like 15,000 factors to come into the price of the car. You guys have no clue. And then when they're done, they'll drive off the lot and say, hey, man, I got this car for $50,000. No, you didn't. Hey, I'm a homeowner. How many times have you refinanced your house? Do you realize a person can refinance their house 3 times and still call themselves a homeowner? You realize there are people that do that? Do you think they know that's not true? People talk about second mortgages all the time. You think listen, walk up to a debt slave with a second mortgage on the house, you go up to him and say, hey, you got 2 mortgages on one house? Say it just like that. You got 2 mortgages on one house. They're going to look at you like, yeah, so? You know what 2 mortgages on one house really, really means when you come to the positive side? 2 mortgages on one house, that means you don't understand why you needed the first. If you get a second mortgage on the same house, that means you don't understand why you needed the first mortgage. That's what that means. But yet they do. I'm going to take out a second, and then I'm going to put some money down on some rental property, and then I'm going to get a rental property, and then I'm going to do a cash flow. You got 3 mortgages. You don't cash flow and shit for many years. When you talk about realty game, you got to listen. You got to listen when they start talking to you about real estate and shit like that. Oh, I bought this. I own this property. You got to say, hey, hold up, just a second. Let's first define the word buy, okay? Or do you mean buy with cash, or do you mean buy with a mortgage? You got to make sure, because debt slaves interchange that word all the time. They don't know that they do that. Okay, that happens all the time. Hey, I own this and bought that and this and that. You talking about with mortgages? Yeah. When they tell you yes, as soon as they say yes, I want you to think to yourself, LJ said you would say yes, because they don't know. They don't know you can't buy a house with a mortgage. That's why they think they own it. See, it's really once you come to the positive side, it's really an obvious thing. If somebody says they own a house with a mortgage, they obviously don't know that you can't buy a house with a mortgage. If somebody says they own equity in a mortgaged house, they obviously do not know that you cannot own equity in a mortgaged house. So if they're saying, listen, if they're saying it, they obviously don't know it. So this is the equivalent, okay? If I walked up to you and said, Hey, 1 + 1 = 3. If I said that into a crowd of people, 1 + 1 = 3. Everybody would look at me weird and look at me like, he obviously don't know that's not true. You see the difference? If I said 1 + 1 = 3, everybody would stop and say, what's wrong with him? That's obviously not true. He obviously don't know that because he's obviously saying 1 + 1 = 3. So when you hear somebody say they're a homeowner, they have a mortgage, they obviously do not know a mortgage cannot buy a house. You know what's so crazy, Gabriel? You know, now that now that I understand capitalism is psychological and I look at infinite banking, velocity banking, check this out. You know the reason why those things are so popular? Debt slaves are doing anything. You guys really don't understand the purpose of infinite banking and velocity banking. The banks want you to use those systems. If the system involves a credit card, which belongs to the bank, of course the bank wants you to do infinite banking. Hey, listen, if you believe you're saving money and moving money here and there and blah, 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 hey, listen, you guys can believe whatever you want to believe, whatever. But the banks want you to do what they're teaching you. You guys can't see that. But debt slaves, that system is used because you guys will refuse to believe it's you. You always think it's something outside of you that is going to get you out of debt faster when it's not true. It's you. You are the only one that can get you out of debt the fastest. You. But since you guys don't know that or believe that, you grasp on something that you believe that will do. Anytime you borrow money, that's going into the negative. I don't care what it looks like, what you call it. According to the mathematics, that's called negative. So when you go to these velocity banking videos or when you see all these people with these classes, they're not teaching you they're teaching you things that are on the negative side of the economy. Because if it involves borrowing money, that means you're in the negative, but you're going to borrow your way out of debt. This is what's so crazy, debt slaves. This is what you guys don't see. You guys are in trouble. You guys are coming to those guys because you're in trouble because of credit cards. You're already in trouble. That's why you're even listening to those videos. Okay. Now you believe somehow this guy on the internet, this guy or woman's going on the internet, they're going to teach you a different way to use a credit card to get yourself out of debt. So somehow you're going to magically learn how to automatically start using the credit card the correct way. No, you're not. Because that's what that involves. And you're coming to them because you didn't know how you're in debt. So you obviously didn't know how to use credit cards, but somehow you're going to magically use credit cards correctly. And the credit card limits that they get at say like you have a $10,000 credit card. Say like you have a $20,000 credit. How many of you guys think you're going to get a $20,000 credit card? Fuck no. If you're talking about infinite banking and velocity banking, you are not getting a $10,000, $20,000 credit card limit. You are not doing that at all. That is that is not true. People with bad credit get $500 limits, $200 limits, $700. If your credit card limit is $500, you have bad credit. That's what that means. If your credit limit is $700, that's because you have bad credit. That's why it's $700 credit limit. If you have a prepaid secured card, guess what you are? You're a debt slave. Hey man, this is how I need to get my credit back up. I need to get a prepaid secured card, a secure credit card, which is a prepaid card, which is stupid shit. It's so crazy. They just do you debt slave so bad. Hey man, you want to get your credit back up? Yeah. Once you get the secure card, which is a prepaid card, so you gotta say like you want a secure card at $500. You got to come up with $500 of your own money, give it to the bank, and then they give you a piece of plastic, and then they charge interest to you using your own money, and they charge interest with you using your own money, and then they use your money and loan it out at the same time, all for the privilege of increasing your credit score. Are you crazy? But if I was a bank, I'll be handing secure cards all out every day. Just no different than bank protection, overdraft protection. The banks are making money off of protecting you from yourself. That is free money. All you got to do is do this. Look how much they made off of overdraft protection fees. Overdraft protection is you're paying the bank to protect you from yourself. You think they don't have a switch? Like if you run your credit card and you don't have the money in there, they have a switch to say deny the person. You think that's hard for them to do? They could just say deny. You say like you go and buy something, and you got $20 left in your account. You go try to buy something for 40, slide the card, denied, and you get nothing. But instead, they let you go over for what? A fee. That is free money. You come to the positive side, you join the banks. Hey, what you guys have to offer? You guys looking for investors? What you guys doing? Once you come to the positive side, you see how it all works. It's all broke up in regions and everything. There's 12 of them, 12 reserve banks. All the banks, listen, 12 reserve banks. They all broke up in regions. All the local banks got to talk to their local reserve bank. And the big bank talks to the big bank in DC. That's it. Banks own everything. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying. It is. I don't care. Shout out to John Kennedy for the $7 super chat. Thank you, sir, LJ. Took your advice 4 years ago via stream of O'Shea. Thank you. I appreciate it. Haven't looked back since. There's only one way. Yep, above zero. Miami, Florida. Congratulations, John. And once you get over zero, that's it. I try my best to explain, but what I'm trying to do is explain the psychological. The only way the psychological can be explained is mathematically. I only can explain the psychological exists via mathematics. That's the only way to do it. Like when you hear people that have gifts and they can do extraordinary things, and it's like, hey man, something told me and this and that. What they're trying to do is trying to explain to you the psychological, but they can't, because you can't explain the psychological with words because it's not a physical thing. But it exists. Okay. And so that's where I come in. I know how to do that. I use SMD red notes, negative dollars. That shows the psychological. I say it, hey, all you got to do is open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and see a large, hit equal and see a large negative number. You see a large negative number, all you got to do is believe it. Because you look at it and say like this is you, right? You come to this channel and you've believed you're a homeowner all this time, and you've been making mortgage payments for the last 15 years and whatever, right? And you've been calling yourself a homeowner the whole time. And so you do what I say, you open up the calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal, and then you see that large negative number. Now, the calculator is clearly telling you that you own nothing and you never have. Doesn't matter how many years you've been paying. You have never owned it since the first day. Why? Because you didn't have the money to buy it. Why? Because you didn't know mortgages cannot buy houses. Now, at that moment, you're going to have a strong mind because you're thinking to yourself, well, wait a minute. Millions of people did exactly what I did, got a house with a mortgage. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So what's your point? That means all of them think just like you. So what is your point? So since you don't believe in math and they don't believe in math, you go on not believing in math? Is that what you're saying? You have to have a strong mind to accept to say, I don't own nothing. All these years I've been paying. All these times I thought I owned equity in this house, I own nothing. That's true. You own nothing. What about all my friends? They told me to do this. They all think the same thing as you do. So are you going to continue to think that? Because it's not true. You don't have to be there. You can you can believe it, come to the positive side, own your house. And if you're a realtor, you sell people houses using mortgages. It doesn't matter what other people believe. If you sell houses for a living, you come across here and you say, "Oh man, the mortgage buy house and equity," and then you've been doing it for years. I'm not saying stop doing what you're doing. I'm just saying for you. I'm saying you don't believe you own a house with a mortgage. Continue to sell houses to people that believe they can buy houses with mortgages. I'm just saying you don't do it. What's up, Robert? Robert says Elon Musk said today that he's very close to solving the driverless car. Of course he is. You think Elon's putting in all that work to trash the idea? He already knows the reward. I think right now, listen. I think right now Warren Buffett, I think he has the highest stock. I think on the stock market. I think that Warren Buffett owns stock. I think he has the highest price stock on the stock market. You think Elon's coming after that? Looks like it to me. Look like Elon's coming after that spot. Without even trying. I don't think Elon's saying, "Hey man, I'm gonna make my stock the most stock." No, I don't even think he thinks like that. That's just gonna be a side product of what's about to happen. You want to play chess? I keep coming. Let me come back to the business owners. You want to play chess like Tesla, Apple, Amazon? Those guys are playing chess. Do you want to play chess? They obviously know capitalism is psychological. Obviously. If you are a business owner, nobody will be able to fuck with you. Nobody. Nobody. What'd you say, Andre? Already saw when semi was introduced, but wasn't ready for the city driving. Look at that. Hey man, I gotta clap my hands to Tesla. I've been talking. You guys know that follow me. I've been talking about Tesla for quite a while right now. It seems obvious to me. It seems obvious to me. Without even trying to be. They're not, I don't think Tesla is trying to monopolize the industry. They're making change, man. They're the first. Listen, Elon is the first person to make change in the brand new economy. You guys don't understand that title. I know you don't get it. When you're a debt slave, you're like, oh, I wish the things could go back to the way it was. You guys still stuck before 2020. All of you W-2 workers were thrown into the 1099 new world of the food delivery. You guys were thrown in there. You guys don't know shit about taxes. Your employer always took out your taxes for you, so you guys didn't have to know none of that. All you did was wait for your statement at the end of the year. It says, the job says, here's how much money you made. Do you know, let me tell you something that sounds so embarrassing to me today. Do you know I had never once throughout my whole working career double check my paycheck? Whenever I got paid by an employer, I just grabbed it and cashed it. I didn't double check, make sure I got, because you know your checks are really not the same every single time. It's different and taxes change or whatever, right? But there's a way to figure it all out. All you have to do is figure out the gross. You don't have to know all the stuff within the check, because I think even with them giving you your check and putting all that shit on there, it's all confusing. It gives you a glazed look. This is all you got to understand. You got to understand the difference between gross and net. Okay. So if you work X amount of hours for X amount of hours for X amount per hour over a 2-week period, you should have a gross of X. Now, if your gross number matches their gross number, I say it's pretty safe that the stuff inside the check it's probably safe to say it's probably doing what it's supposed to be doing, but I would still double check it. But you need to make sure your gross amount is there. I never check my check. Never. I think about it today. I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? How come I never checked my check? I never did. Auto deposit. Listen, out of sight, out of mind. It's the man, this shit, I'm telling you, man, the more I talk about it, it's just brilliant. Hey, we'll do auto deposit. And you never see it. Like, think about it. When you get your check auto deposited, right? They still give you a paper copy. Do you bother open the paper copy? Why? You know it's not a check and you already got your money in your account, so you don't even open it and look. I hope you're saving them. If you save them, all you got to do is go back and do it. If you still got your check stubs, just take one day, take a couple hours, sit down, go over how many hours you know you work, and see if you're actually getting that amount of money on your check. Go figure it out. I bet a lot of you guys are going to be surprised. A lot of you guys are going to be surprised. I remember one time my girlfriend told me a story. She's like, she had a retail job and they gave her a raise, and she didn't check to see if they gave her a raise. And something happened in a meeting or something that came up, and something about the raise. She was like, "Oh, I didn't see that raise." She was like, "Oh, I didn't put it in." They had to retro pay her, right? But she wouldn't have got nothing if she didn't catch it. What'd you say, Andre? They said already solved when the semi. Oh, okay, yeah, right there. Waiting for a reset that already happened. Exactly. I keep telling people, man, you want to play chess? All you gotta do is look at Amazon, look at Apple, look at Tesla, look at other big companies. Do they look like they're playing checkers, or do they look like they're playing chess? Like when you see, this is a little crazy because sometimes, like, I have a young friend that he sells cars, okay, and he's a millionaire and he's in his 20s, okay, he's a multimillionaire, and so what he does is he goes buy cars at auction, fixes them himself. He don't even have to do it; he just does it for himself, fixes up and sells them. But he's an honest, good salesman, making bread. And then he tells me how much he gets these cars for at the auctions, that the banks just total them. Might be a fender and it might be, he's like, hey man, I took this car, bought it for this much, and then I fixed it for, $500. And then you think to yourself, damn, why would the bank total a car that could be fixed for $500? Because the banks don't look at money. They look at time, value. The banks make trillions of dollars. Excuse me, insurance companies. Insurance companies make trillions of dollars. Trillions. One single truck. You got to remember, insurance companies also know, listen, you guys don't really understand it. They know the true cost of that truck. When you see a truck get totaled, you're like, damn, that's expensive truck. And they total it for a $500 fender bender, whatever, right? Because you guys, man, that's an $80,000 truck because it's $80,000 for you. That truck didn't cost, when you come across a truck and you see it on a video, this is an $80,000 truck, it's special edition. No, it's not. It's only 80, 90, 100,000 if you believe it's 100,000. Insurance companies know the true cost of the vehicles. Why? Because debt slaves cannot buy anything. Debt slaves have to go to the bank. Listen to me closely. Every person with a finance car, you know what that means? They had to go to the bank to ask them permission to buy the car that they're driving today. They had to ask, hey, bank, yeah, can if I fill out this paperwork, can you help me get that car, please? Please, can you? I really want it. Can you help me get it? No, I know I don't got the money to get it. That's why I'm asking. Please? Sure. What if I told you only debt slaves finance cars? Would you believe me? Would you believe me? Only debt slaves finance cars. Imagine how many Teslas are financed. Do you guys understand that? Every Tesla you see, if you're a person right now that has ever been jealous of a Tesla because somebody's driving one and they're not using gas and gas is so expensive and this and that, find out if they're making payments. The answer is going to be yes, because listen, if this is you, right? And you drive an older paid off car and you might have a job where a whole bunch of people have some Teslas and you think and you're jealous of them because you're seeing the prices of gas is high and they're not paying. Those guys are making payments. They're not saving nothing. You know what else you know what finance Tesla owners are losing even more of, that they don't even know what they're losing, right? They don't even know. You go up to a Tesla owner and say, hey man, how long does it take you to charge your Tesla, right? Tesla people love telling you, they make videos about it. Oh man, I was only here for like 30 minutes and I got I got an 80% charge and then I got on here. Then you turn to them, as soon as they tell you that, and you say like this, would you wait 30 minutes at a gas pump? If you want to see a glitch in the debt matrix, you go up to a person with a finance Tesla and you ask them, how long does it take to feel? No, you said like this. How long has it ever? No, this is better. This is a better one because they love telling this, right? What's your longest you ever waited at a charging station to fill your car? Because I know if somebody comes next to them and starts the charging, I heard the charging slows down. So you ask them, say, how long does it take? They're going to tell you, like, let's say like it was 30 minutes. And as soon as they tell you, say, if you pulled up to a gas station and you had to wait 30 minutes to pump your gas, would you do it? They're going to give you a glitch in the debt matrix. You got to be paying attention. As soon as you ask this question, make sure you're looking into their eyes, because The glitch is real quick. It's real going to be fast because they're not going to have an answer for it. There is no answer. Or they might even say, hell no. No, I wouldn't do that at a gas pump. And and put it this way, and if you come across a debt slave that will say that, there's a high probability that there will be a debt slave that will say, no, I wouldn't wait at a gas pump for 30 minutes. And then you come back and say, then why are you doing it for an electric car? Why are you doing it for an electric car? Why are you waiting 30 minutes to charge your car? You can't do nothing. Think about it. They sold 30 minutes of their life. When you're charging your car, you can't do absolutely nothing. They would say, hell no, I wouldn't do that to the gas pump, but they will do. And remember, Tesla has now joined GM, whoever else, to be able to charge at the charging stations. Sorry, Tesla owners. You guys charging is gonna go way down. If you got, say like this, say like you got a 30-minute charge on a charger by yourself and nobody was next to you. Imagine when all the GM trucks and the Chevy this and that and they all use the charging stations. You guys know how long you're gonna be at a charging station? Oh my God. Oh. Ooh wee! And then you guys are going to have fights in the parking lot. Who's better, Tesla or Ford? This and that. Blah. Oh my God! I can only imagine. They're going to have to set up security cameras at each Tesla charging station. They probably have to start putting up security. But if you were smart, if you're a business owner, I would be right. If I had a shop or something to sell snacks and shit, I'll be right next to a charging station, a Tesla. Where are they going? They gonna come in and buy shit they normally wouldn't have came in to buy yours. Listen, that's every single day. Imagine, put it this way. Imagine a 7-Eleven right next to a Tesla charging station. Do you know how much money that 7-Eleven is going to be making? If I was a business owner, I would be begging Tesla to put a charging station on my property. Please put one here, please. Pretty please. That's guaranteed money, especially with them joining, what's the name, with GM. Oh man, that is so much money. Tesla's playing chess, you guys. I know 9-figure family and they work an average of 60 hours a week and don't have jobs. Damn, that is bananas. I'm not working that many. I'm just not doing that. I am not doing it. My goal right now is to maximize, to make the most amount of money using the least amount of the time in my life. That is my only goal. You know, when I'm online and I hear people, oh man, entrepreneurs, we never sleep. We're on the grind every single day. We don't go to sleep to 3 a.m. I don't want to be like that. Hell no. I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock. And I don't want to wake up till about 8. When people say, man, I'm up at 4. I don't care. When people, so crazy when people tell you, hey man, I'm up at like 3 a.m. You're supposed to be impressed. Every time they say that, you're supposed to be impressed that somebody gets up at 3 a.m. So what? Who cares? I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. I don't care what you say. I'm not doing that. I'm sleeping in. And guess what loves plenty of sleep? This is what a lot of entrepreneurs don't tell you guys. Guess what loves plenty of sleep? Can you guess? Your brain. When you hear people say, I don't hardly get any sleep, I sleep off for 2 hours. Damn, what about your brain? What about it? Your brain needs, in order for your brain to repair itself, you need to be asleep for it to do that. So when I hear somebody say they only get 2 hours of sleep, hey, I'm not fucking with you. My brain loves sleep. Love it. Loves it, loves it, loves it. Sure can. You can't get time. Have an ice cream drive by the charging stations. You think that's funny, Robert? Hey, man, you better start ding, 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 ding. You can just, hey, man, you can park the ice cream truck there. If you're an ice cream truck person, park it next to a charging station. You don't even have to drive anymore. Your shit's mobile. But you know the city's gonna know, so they're gonna charge you a premium to park your truck next to a Tesla charging station. That thing is gonna be full all the time. Now I know once. Now this is just this is just speculation, okay? And I'm sure Tesla already knows this because they're playing chess. When they start their taxi service, and I don't know if you heard about that, Andre. Some articles are calling it taxi service, and I don't know if Tesla is trying to fall under something that might can get them around some rules in the cities. I don't know. It might be a trick, but anyway, they're going to have to be able to charge those cars somewhere else. So I'm assuming Tesla is going to have dedicated stations for any Tesla car that's going to be involved in any Tesla taxi rideshare service, because they're going to all be taken by the current Tesla owners, the ones available for the public. And on top of that, GM, all these others. So they won't be able to add their cars to that nightmare, because that's going to be a fucking nightmare. People are going to get trickle charge. Just imagine you're charging your Tesla and somebody pulls up in a Hummer EV. or pull up in the new Tesla truck right next to you. You guys are going to be charging your cars for like 40 minutes. Oh, they're going to make so much money. You guys don't even understand. That's real money. Pull up to a semi pulls up to the charging station when you're charging your Tesla. Oh man, don't need charging site stations if they get the loan owners to charge them. Right. Well, oh yeah, would they get them to charge them? Would they get them to charge? Well, this is what I mean. Andre. If they're, and this is just, I'm just thinking out loud, okay? I'm thinking with the normal, shit, if they get them to charge it, that would be but they would have to return the car charged though, Andre. It would have to be return charged, fully charged, because if they pick it up from the person, it's probably going to be a requirement that the car is fully charged right off the bat. So Tesla will have to return it charged. Therefore, they will have to have some dedicated charging stations and think about it, Andre, don't forget, they will make their charging stations for their fleet super duper fast. Because they probably got charging stations, probably got some city regulations or something. It can't do this. It has to be safe for the public. But if they have charging stations dedicated for only cars, the car can roll up, no human interaction at all. Have the car pull up, have a robot arm pull out, come out, put it in the. They're sending spaces. They're sending rockets to Mars. They can make an arm come out of the ground, put it into the charger, charge the car. No human intervention. They probably can make that charge fast as they want to make a charge. Man, are you a business owner? Problems, problem solved. You're right. I get it. I agree with it. I'm thinking more of a crowded perspective. I know we're talking financially, but I'm talking more of a crowd. Like, say like this: the city would have to allow only X amount of cars on the road at one time. I mean, they have to do that. All right. It has to be a limit. It has to be. So they would normally have to split that with the competition and finance the chargers. Oh man, you're right. You're right. You're right. Yeah, see, you guys really don't understand what Andre is saying. Money doesn't matter anymore when you're at that level, because you guys will hear how much it costs to build a charging station, right? You're like, oh my God, that was like $5 million. But you gotta remember, when you're at that level, you understand money is psychological. Yes, if it's $5 billion to build a charging station, okay, yes, that's how much it costs to build it. Yes, to pay people, to break the ground and put in stuff and wire and pay people to do. Yes, that's true. But you guys pay for it. You guys that finance Teslas, you guys pay for the charging stations and the interest on the loan and the pay the people to do it and to fix it when it goes bad. You guys pay for it each time you finance a car. That solves the congestion problem at the superchargers. How would it solve the congestion problem? What do you mean? They won't have to build very many more stations. How? Okay, hold up. How would that solve the congestion problem? Because with GM and Tesla and everybody coming, that's going to be congested. Period. Anyway, oh, they won't have to build any more stations, huh? I don't even know how many they have. Honestly, I don't even. I know they have them across the United States. I already know, but I know they lead everything. Hold on, just a second. Tesla's playing chess. Get the loan owners to charge the cars for you. Elon is working on a different level altogether. Yes, he is. He's playing chess. I'm telling you, man. Are you a business owner right now? And you want to play at chess? You want to play chess? It doesn't matter what level of business owner you are. Do you want to play chess or not? I can teach you how to play chess. Nobody will know how you plan because the majority of people in business don't know capitalism is psychological. They don't know that. They don't know that. I don't know why these kids want to come and play right next to my window of all windows. All right, here we go. All right, go run and play. There you go. You want to do that? You want to be different than anybody in business? You want to be there's millions of people, there's millions of business owners. They don't know that capitalism is psychological. It's a whole different language. Would you say you ready to get into the business of installing chargers in people's homes? Yeah, you sure better get in that business. That's gonna explode right there. Cause hey, listen, if I was getting a Tesla now, I would make sure I can afford to have a charger put in my house because I'm not wasting the time of my life at a supercharger. You will never ever listen. If I get a Tesla, the only reason why I would be at a charger if I was traveling in the Tesla. But if I was in my local city, you would never see me at a charger ever because I would never waste the time of my life at a charger. For 30 minutes, no. That answer is no. When I buy a Tesla, I have to have the money for the car and I have to have the money to have the supercharger put in my house, which means on top of that, that means I have to own my house. That's funny that I say that because do you know how much more money the bank is going to make now? Do you guys know that on mortgage houses? Do you know how many people not only are going to, but already have had superchargers installed in their mortgaged house? Do you know how much more the bank is going to be able to sell that house when that person's out of there? By the way, this house comes with a Tesla supercharger. That's more money. Cha-ching. I don't even know how much it costs to put a supercharger in a house. I'm sure it's not cheap. The cost of the supercharger and installation. People are refinancing their houses to put superchargers in their houses for their financed Tesla. People want a Tesla so bad, they want to think that they want to get away from gas and save money. Gas is so fast, have justified, oh, my job is 30 miles away. I calculated the gas money. They do all these calculations. Gas is $4.50 a gallon. I figure if I still had this, and I'll still be spending that. But if I get this Tesla, they believe everything in their brains. At the same time, they take out a second mortgage, go finance a Tesla and put a supercharger in the house with the money. And then pull up with their Tesla, charging that home supercharger, and then they think they're saving money on gas. Isn't that bananas? And they took out a second mortgage to do it. They took out a second mortgage to save money on gas. That's psychological. Nick is for surely in the right business. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely. Just like you said, tinfoil hat, permits, fees, everything wrapped up in the financing, everything. Congratulations, bank. Taxes too. You guys got to remember, they take out a second mortgage. That's not free. Taking out a second mortgage is not free. That costs money. There's fees in that. There's a cost, blah, blah, blah. Then they take that money, take some of it, put a down payment on a Tesla, the car plus taxes, wrap it up, the car plus taxes. Now they got a car payment. And then to do the same thing, the price of the charger, installation, and taxes. They wrap that all up too, finance the taxes on that too. And then they get it and think they're saving money on gas. He is definitely in the right business. Flawless victory. Plus increases the property taxes. And you know what's so crazy, debt slaves? You guys know what? When you're in debt, guess what you can't do? Guess what you can't do? You can't reduce yourself in your tax bracket. This is what I want, especially you young people, okay, that may understand tax brackets, okay, and how they work. If you don't, Google it. It's not very hard. When you come across somebody that you know makes a lot of money, that looks like, at least they look like it, right? If they're making car payments, if they have a mortgage payment, guess what that means? They cannot reduce themselves in their tax bracket. So if they make, say like they make $300,000 a year, because debt slaves love to tell you how much money they make a year. So just as soon as you hear it, go look up tax brackets and see where they are. See if the person's married, if they're single, and look for that particular one. And you can go see how much they're being taxed on their money. And guess what? They can't do anything about it. When you're in debt, you can't reduce your tax bracket. You can't. Now, I know a lot of you will say, no, LJ, you're wrong, man. I invested in a retirement plan. I put $10,000 in there and they took $10,000 off my annual income, which reduced. I know it looks like that. I know what you're saying. I get it. I totally get what you're saying. Hey, LJ, that's not true. You know, you say you can't put money into retirement while having a mortgage, but I've been putting money in my retirement for years. I know it looks like that. I don't disagree with you. I know if we logged into your bank account, into your retirement account, we will see money. Well, we won't see money. We'll see digital numbers on the screen. And you're going to say to me, LJ, how did it get there then? I don't know. That's what I'm gonna turn to you and say, well, if that's not true, LJ, and I've been putting money into my retirement while having a mortgage for years and it's there, how did it get there? I'm gonna turn and look at you and say, I don't know how it got there. How'd you do it? You got to show me. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea how you could put money into a retirement account while having a mortgage. I have no idea. So I would turn to you and say, you need to show me how you did that. I don't know how you did that. Linnell, I got $100,000 in my 401k and I've been putting it in for 10 years. Well, how long have you had your house? 20? Okay, show me how you did it. I don't know how you did that. Show me. And when I say show me, you're going to have to mathematically show me. Yep, finance the batteries, everything. Great incentive to give someone else your money. Do you think you might be manipulated? Man, it's just, and we always say this, Andre, I'm glad I know, but I'm angry that I didn't know in my 20s. I mean, not angry. It's irritating. I don't even want to say anger because I don't even want the universe thinking I'm ungrateful, but it's just irritating. And they get use and control for decades, man. It's beautiful on the positive side of the economy, people. I'm having more and more really good consultations. I always try to make sure the people that signs up for a consultation with me, I always try to make sure they understand that how grateful it is for you guys to even be able to hear what I talk about on this channel. Now, when you hear me and you realize you're a conscious debt slave, and which is a badge of honor, and then you hear me say something, I mean, the way I talk, like you really kind of, you don't get it yet because it's psychological. You don't really understand when I say, hey, those people can't hear me. You kind of get it, but you're like, what do you mean they can't hear you? You're speaking out loud, but I'm talking about psychologically, they can't hear me. Like when you hear me say, hey, you can't buy a house with a mortgage. I want people to follow me now that don't say anything. They don't know what I'm saying when I say that. Hey, You can't own equity in a mortgaged house. You can hear me. You know what I mean. But debt slaves do not. And you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why not, LJ? Because it's against the laws of mathematics for them to. So they don't know that. Therefore, they are the housing market. So when you understand this and then you hear the news, oh my God, housing interest rates are going up and this and that, that's only a concern for people who finance houses. When you hear about mortgage interest rates and you're into it and you're focused on it, I'm just here to tell you that's only for people who finance houses. People who have cash are not concerned with that. They're not concerned what the feds do with mortgage interest rates. Who cares? That's none of our business. Unless I'm in the business of selling. If I was selling houses, right, and the feds were going to announce something about mortgage interest rates, then I'll be concerned. But if that's not my industry and I buy a house with cash, I don't really care what the feds do with mortgage interest rates. I don't care. That goes the same for the president and $20,000 of student loan relief funds or whatever, right? When you don't have student loan debt, you don't care what decision the president's going to come up with. You could care less. Who cares? You don't care about the start date of student loan payments. You don't care. That is very true, sir. Very true. Aliens are the only reason that the world exists in its current form. Anarchy otherwise. Thus, we receive just compensation for our participation. If you're a debt slave, you have no idea what any of what he's saying. Nothing. That is true. Debt slaves, you guys would not be able to function in this economy without aliens. You couldn't. There has to be people that watch over this. It has to be. Else you guys would let it get destroyed. You guys would do that. Not paying your taxes, fuck everybody, F the IRS. They're just taking money and this and that. Taxes are theft and this and all. You guys be making up all kind of stuff. All kind of. If you don't like it, leave. If you're here and you don't like the federal taxes and the local taxes, all you got to do is open up a map, pick a country, and just go there. Maybe go there and they might have a system you like. All you got to do is go there. I remember when I was young, right? I grew up in the projects. And but luckily my mom has always instilled in me to have my own mind. I was never a follower, so I didn't really follow people. You know, if they did something I didn't like or it looked shady, I'm like, oh no, I'm not doing that. Oh, you're a punk or whatever. I don't give a fuck what you think. I'm going home. My mom said I got to be in at 9 o'clock, and that's what she says. And I'm going home. Lights pop on. Back then, you guys don't know. You guys don't know, youngsters, but back then, the lights that popped on at night, they used to make this loud buzzing sound. Buzz. You knew exactly what that meant. Get your ass home. Friends would be like, hey man, let's go downtown at 9 o'clock at night. Oh, hell no. My mom ain't having none of that. I always have my own mind. And then when you're young, you know, and when you're in those type of environments, there's drugs there. And then you got drug dealers that have nice cars, clothes, rims. And when you're young, you see that, you're like, ooh, I want that. That's how you get the girls. You don't know any better. You don't really understand when you're in that world. You don't really understand how small that piece of the world is. You have no idea how small that piece of the world is. But anyway, when you're young and you don't really understand how it works, especially at 18, you're jumping into drug dealing and blah, blah, blah. You get caught. And then all of a sudden now you can't get a passport. Now, when you're young, you don't really think that's a big deal. Oh, I'm a felon. I can't get a passport. You're probably thinking, I don't want to leave anyway. Well, that's what you think at 18. If things go right, you're not going to be the same person at 18 than when you're at 26 and 36 and 40. You should be changing. All right, Andre, I'm about to get off myself anyway. Thank you, sir. You should be changing. You don't really understand that. You might get to an age to where you're like, hey, man, I want to go outside the country. I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to Australia. I want to go to... Now you can't. Even if the United States allowed you to have a passport for some odd reason and you want to go to Australia, Australia might not let people in their country who have felonies. And guess what that means? You can never explore another country. Now, if you never thought about leaving the United States, you probably thinking it's not a big deal. I'm here to tell you it's a very big deal. Because the only information now you get from about other countries is through social media and other people. That means you get their version of it. However they decide to edit the video, you get their version of the country they went to. You don't know who's taking, you don't know if a debt slave is taking you to another country. And they're recording it. A debt slave is going to have a very different experience than a person with money on a vacation. All you got to do is this. This is all you got to do to tell if you guys are following debt slaves who go on vacation every now and then, right? You always find out, how long are you staying? You find out how long did they stay? Did they stay a week? If they stayed a week, that means they had to hurry and get back because they got to get back to work. They're a debt slave. You listen to the people that go on vacations for months, a month or 2 months. That means they know something. How long did you go? Oh, we just went 7 days. Oh, you're a debt slave going on vacation. They charged it. They probably put it all on credit cards. Those people that you see going on vacations for a week, they end up paying 2 years for a 1 week vacation on their credit card. Oh, we had a great time. We did hang gliding and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And you look at it, you're at work, you're jealous. But what you don't know is that they're about to pay on that vacation for the next 2 years of their life. They don't put that part on social media. Hey guys, you remember that vacation I took last year? Yeah, I'm still paying on it, and I actually owe more now than than the price of the vacation 2 years ago. I actually owe more. They don't put that on social media. What you guys don't understand is that debt slaves show you life through the lens they want you to see. You think the people on social media are always smiling? They always look like that every time you see them on camera. That's not true. All you got to do is just say, "Do you look like that every day?" Then they don't either. They don't look like that every day. They're human too. They have bad days. They don't want to fix their hair. Shit, sometimes they don't want to take a shower. Whatever. They're just like everybody else. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. You just got to remember, when you following somebody on social media, you got to remember you're looking at their perspective. That's it. Hey, look, everybody, this is the perspective of my life that I want you to see. As long as there's nothing wrong with this. Listen, there's nothing wrong with following somebody's life, but remember, that's a perspective of life. It's not life. It's a perspective of life that they're showing you. When they show you houses and cars and clothes, you don't know how they're paying for any of that. You don't know. So don't get caught up on that. Doesn't mean anything. They probably just, it's so crazy. You guys, when you're wrapped up in there thinking this is how the rich live, all you got to do is when you're on the positive side, you just take a step back. And then when they go to a store or pull up in a car, they make sure you see the car. And then when they walk in the store, they look up at the top. Guess what? There's the name of the store. That's all business. That's all business. That's what you'll be doing. You'll let debt slaves, because you got to remember, debt slaves believe rich is a look. They think money is a look. So people, debt slaves, they all know that. So they just scammers. They go, hey, debt slaves that believe money's a look. So I'm gonna make them believe it, and then they just do it. Shout out to Sister George. Thank you very much for the $10 super chat. Hey, at SMD, I would like to have you on. Is that, of course. Here, email me. There's my email, Sister George. SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com. Let's set something up for sure. Nice to see you. Haven't seen you in a minute. It's all business. People don't really, I know when you come here, you really don't understand what I teach. You're very welcome, Sister George. You don't understand what I teach because you've never heard of it. But what I'm here to tell you is this. What I'm stating is a mathematical fact. Okay? Always remember that. What I'm stating is a mathematical fact. So you come to this channel, people are quick to say, oh, hit LJ's opinion. This is his theory, this and that. It's not any of that. It's mathematical fact. If you already have the ambition and the drive to create your own business, to make it successful, you're not opening a business just to get business credit. You open a business to create a business. If you already have that, this piece is going to send you to the top. Nobody will be able to stop you. 99% of the people will not be able to financially fool you. Nobody, really, nobody. Put it this way, very few people will be able to financially fool you because very few people know that capitalism is psychological. Again, I always like to give this example. If you're a realtor and you sell houses via mortgages, right? I'm not saying change. I'm not saying not do that. I'm saying for you, I'm saying you don't have a mortgage for yourself. You understand that the only way to buy a house is in cash. You own a house, no mortgage. But when it's time for you to do your business as a realtor, you sell houses to people that believe they can buy houses with mortgages. I don't care if they believe it. I'm just saying you don't believe it. And then once you come out, it's like you're in the real estate game, right? I love to use the real estate game. Once you come to the positive side of the economy, guess what? You will now understand that every single mortgage house on the market is at some point might be available. All you got to do is wait for a big job loss or close or some city got flooded or so, whatever. Any place, all you got to do is just look. Say like you would. This is the gift. Okay, let me show you the gift. When you know capitalism is psychological and you want to get into the realty housing game, all you got to do is say, hey, what city has the most, what business has the biggest employers or whatever that employs a lot of people? How is that business doing? Is that business doing good? Is it about to close? It's like say like you found a huge business that employs a lot of people in this particular city or town or whatever, and you know the business is about to close. Guess what's going to be available there? Plenty of houses because all those houses have mortgages from people that depend on the job. So you find out the business is about to close, you swoop in, you start looking at houses. Where are the houses around the business? Those are going to be the first to go. Can't pay their taxes. They're going to get foreclosed on. All you got to do is wait. Once you understand capitalism is psychological, you realize this. Every mortgage house is available. Every person that you believe that has a mortgage, right? Hold on. This thing is be still. Every person that has a mortgage, just ask them, say, are you a homeowner? No, you don't even have to say, are you a homeowner? And you know they have a mortgage? Just automatically no. That means they don't know. Now, say like you are in the business of creating real estate, right? And rental houses. Now, when you go in, put it this way so you guys can understand how it works. Say like you start going, you want to do rental houses. Now, this is not advice, just my opinion. I'm not nothing. Okay, I'm just giving my opinion. Say like you got into rental, but you're debt free personally. Once you this is the difference between people that do that and don't, right? When you make sure you're debt free personally first. Okay, no debt personally, and then you go into the rental game. Say like you get a mortgage, because I'm not against business debt. You get a mortgage for a rental property. Okay, you put in say like the mortgage is $3,000 and you're getting $5,000. Okay, that's $2,000 profit. Okay, but you have a mortgage, so the $2,000 profit does not come to you personally. It goes right back into the property to pay off the loan or pay off something to fix the house or something that goes back into the house, not to you. But you don't need the money because you're debt free, so you won't need the profits. When you hear people pulling profits from mortgage properties, that means they obviously don't have any money because they're taking money that could be used to pay off that property faster. But when they pull the profits out, they're slowing down that process, which in turn means they pay more in interest because they're slowing down the payoff process. So when you go around and you get with your community with people that think they own rental properties too, you're going to go up to them and say, do you own your property with a mortgage or without? Because when you don't pull no money from the house is going to get paid off faster. Taxes, depreciation, all the factors in, and the profit from the renter. And not paying taxes on the money because you're reinvesting back into the house. See what I'm saying? You will be playing chess in the real estate game. Is that you? Are you in the real estate game? You want to play chess? You want the advantage? Come see me. I will give you the advantage. All right, I'm going to wrap this up. Shout out to Sister George. Thank you again. I'm not sure if she's still in here, but did you get? I hope you got my information. I'm going to leave it one more time for everybody that might be listening and not really watching, but SavingsMinusDebt@gmail.com is my email. You can schedule a consultation at SavingsMinusDebt.com. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. For you and LJ to know how it really works, we have to have a time machine to live in each century of human history. Yeah. And I definitely know what you're saying about that, Gabriel. When you understand how it works, let's put it this way. When you understand how it works and then you look back at history, you're like, wait a minute. I'm gonna give you an example. Let me give you an example. A lot of you guys are not gonna really understand, but I'm gonna give you an example. When President Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, do you guys know that really didn't really do anything like you guys think it did? It doesn't matter if the money's paper money or gold. Currency doesn't exist for you guys, debt slaves. So them pulling money off a gold standard, okay, what's that mean? Nothing. Don't get me wrong. It obviously had an effect to do something. This is what I'm saying. For them to do that, there was an effect after that. So whatever the effect after that was the purpose. But what I'm telling you, as a debt slave, it really doesn't matter if they took it off the gold standard, because gold or paper money doesn't exist for you. All of it's psychological for you guys. So now when I hear that, when I look at history like that, I'm like, what did that do? Nothing. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, debt slaves always love doing this shit. Oh, it's fiat currency. You know, all you got to do, and next time you hear a debt slave say something, a fiat currency, you turn to him and say, what does that mean? What's fiat currency mean? No, this is what I want you to do. First, you go look up the definition of fiat currency yourself. I want you to know how to spell it, and I want you to know what it means. Okay? And then go to a person that's always talking about fiat currency, and then I want you to turn to that person and say, what does fiat currency mean? And when they come back with the incorrect definition, you're going to know you've been talking to a debt slave. You've been listening to a debt slave talk about fiat currency because they don't even know what it means. All right, you guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and the cash apps. I want to. Hey, before I go, I'm gonna show you guys something. I'm gonna show you guys something. So when SMD gets bigger, and I destroy a debt slave, I came up with a little video clip. All right. So this is what it is. Right. Watch this. Hold on. Let me start it over. When I destroy a debt slave. Every time I destroy a debt slave, I'm gonna bring that up. I'll be like, because you know I'm gonna have a lot of them that's gonna try to prove me wrong. I'm just like, oh, okay, destroy them, send them on their way, and just be like, oh, you trying to, okay, debt slaves, okay, gotcha, you trying to destroy me. Okay, here we go. You can't. Math is bulletproof. Math is bulletproof. See you later, debt slaves. I need you guys to understand math is bulletproof. I'm Superman. I'm Superman in the finance game. I'm Superman. How am I Superman? Because nobody in history of the world has ever broken the laws of mathematics, ever, and never will. All right, you guys have a good night. See you later.